All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who also rule well. Peace and salutations to those of the hopeful elect. Just a few brothers from the GMS SF Bay Area camp coming together through the Spirit, to get into prophecy, because we're living in 2020, the year of prophecy. All right, and pretty much that's all that's happening. Everything that all the major events that are going on in the earth, everything is linking back to prophecy. Okay, and ultimately, the bigger picture is that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to destroy America. Okay, because America, this place is the worst place on the face of the earth.
Yep, and as you can see, with this COVID-19 thing, but it's always been happening even before that, that America's, digging a ditch, and it's not going to be able to get itself out of, and we're going to get an article basically going into the monetary woes, but Babylon as a whole is going to be destroyed, and it's not coming back.
Yeah, because these monetary woes is going to lead to the Lord rolling out those actual plagues.
Yep.
Because once the economy crash, then that's going to lead to the famine. That's going to lead to race riots.
Uprisings of the people.
Sedition.
Martial law.
It's going to lead to more prophecy being fulfilled.
Exactly.
Just more...
lamentation, mourning, and woe.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get the article out, Baba Kashar.
All right, so this is the article that I have on the screen. It says, we have a depression on our hands. The CIO of a bearish 150 million fund says the market will grind to new lows after the current bounce is over, and warns a lot more pain is still to come.
Yep, a lot more pain because America's closing out. Before this COVID-19 thing, America has been trillions of dollars in debt. Going back to the World Trade Center, it put a major deficit. 2008, there was a great recession. Then America was able to bounce back. All right, but, ever since that recession, America was pretty much done. It was only a matter of time. But now we're living in 2020 where this place is crumbling, okay? And now the elites, they want to roll out this COVID-19 pandemic that they set up pretty much to mask the reason why America is going to collapse pretty much. Now they're going to blame it on the pandemic instead of blaming it on the government, So, what happened is now the keepers of the household are trembling. Yep. They're pretty much saying it's inevitable and that we're going to feel the repercussions of the economy that's crashing, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, they're starting to perceive that this place is about to go out the door.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you're going to see, prices in food skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see
inflation.
The value of the U.S. dollar, the Federal Reserve note is going to be pretty much next to none.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'll just get this real quick. Ecclesiastes 12, and I'll just start from the top just to get the point. The point. This is Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Yep, because we're living in that time where, the Lord, He has His chosen people on the earth. All right, and it just so happened to be the so-called blacks, Latinos, Natives, Seminole Indians. All right, make up the different 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the Lord's chosen people that you read of in the scripture. Okay, well, the Israelites are here in America, okay, in captivity. All right, and that's why the Lord has it out for this place, for the controversy of Zion. All right, but 2/3 of Israel, they're conformed to the ways of Babylon. Okay, they're still in the mindset of being what is it called, Stockholm syndrome.
Yep.
And the Lord, He's calling. We're living in the last days where the Lord, He's calling the nation back. But the only ones that's going to harpen before the time of destruction is going to be the elect.
Yep. And it says, while the evil days come not. So right now we're in that period of, right before, and the transition into Jacob's trouble, into the, so we don't feel the effects of the economy crashing yet, Trump is still giving out stimulus checks, so he's kind of still giving that bread, and people are able to stay afloat, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, so there is still time, you know, to turn to the Lord. You know, build up your faith. You know, because the times that are coming, you know, it's going to get into it. It says, verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds returned after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. You know, and so this is what we're heading into. You know, as the article said, you know, that the grinding, you know, coming to a halt. You know, and these grinders represent this workforce, you know, this economy, you know, and what's going to happen during this Great Depression, you know, which we're going into, and you know, you can already see we're in a recession, you know, but this Great Depression that's going to come, what is the job loss rate at now? I think it's like, what is it, 30-something million?
It's up.
Yeah. So this is exactly what this is talking about. It's talking about, you know, these workforce, the workers, you know, all these different companies coming to a halt, you know, and that those windows be darkened. You know, there is no so-called American dream, you know, that Babylonian dream of you know, being able to come here, you know, the land of milk and honey, so to speak, you know, be able to open your own business, be able to thrive, you know, be able to make money, you know, that's all coming to a halt, you know. And that's what this is talking about. These windows are being darkened, you know. It says, verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Yeah, and that's going to be when everything collapse.
Yep.
You know, and the daughters of music is being brought low now. Okay, that's why the music, it don't have that same spirit as back in like the 70s, you know, the 60s, the 80s. All right, it had more higher, you know, spirits to it, but now the music is just low vibration, completely negative.
Oh, just real quick, like Tupac, he says, "I'm hopeless."
Yeah,
because right now the Lord, He's causing the spirit of America, the mirth of America, to cease.
Yep.
So now you know that music is being brought low. People is not going to concerts. Esau, he's shutting down the circus. He's still giving out a little bit of the bread, but the circus is being shut down. You know, these different concerts. You know, these different, you know, events. You got it out.
Yes, as I want to say, you know, and right here we got this grace period. You know, the Lord is calling through to His people through the prophets, you know, down here on earth, who are Hebrew Israelites, you know, to pretty much get out of Babylon. You know, don't have your mindset here, you know, because, you know, America's pretty much a boat with a hole in it.
Yep.
It's going down the drain.
Exactly.
And
Like
so
the Titanic.
God. Yeah, so I'm going to read this in Jeremiah 51. I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense."
Yep.
That's why you got to remember Lot's wife.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know, that's talking about, you know, spiritually departing, you know, not being invested in this place, you know, not being like, you know, a lot of these Edomites, actually a lot of these people in this world, you know, believing that, you know, America will be great again, the economy will open back up, everything will go to return to normal, you know, but no, this is the new norm, you know.
And it's going to get into, because you can't just buy a ticket. Like, this isn't telling you to go buy a plane ticket to go fly in, like, India or something.
Yeah. It's pretty much telling you to depart from the ways of this world and come back to the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, this westernized mentality.
Yeah,
it goes into right here in verse 7. It says,
I got a quick precept to back you up, though, right
all
there.
Go ahead.
Micah 2:10, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction."
Yep. Going into to reiterate the point, it says, "Arise ye and depart." You have to do that spiritually, you know. And when you arise and depart is when you come into the knowledge, wisdom of Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord brings you into this truth.
Yep.
You know.
And you know, it's polluted, you know, physically, you know, the food, the air, you know, the water we drink, everything's polluted. Philosophy, spiritually polluted. And now, you know, as we can see, this American dream, you know, is polluted because what? The grinding's gonna cease.
Yep.
As we can see, it's gonna be a Great Depression. You know, so why would you want to be a part of something like the brother was saying, a sinking ship? You know,
There's no hope for America.
Yep.
There's no hope for anybody outside of those that are serving Yahweh Shemal Shai as the hopeful elect.
Yep.
There's no hope outside of that, you know?
And like it says, if you want to stick around, if you want to be invested in this place and you want it to thrive, well, Yahweh Shem Shai says it's going to destroy you.
Yep.
You know?
With a sword destruction.
Remember Lot's wife.
Because that sword destruction is what we're getting into.
Yep.
The different plagues that are about to hit America.
Yep. And we're in the beginning stages of it. America's not coming back. You know, there's no coming back from everything that's been happening with this COVID-19, with the trillions of dollars of debt that the government's in. You know, there's no coming back, you know?
So let me continue back on Jeremiah 51 verse 7. And it goes into, because you can't just buy a plane ticket, because pretty much, you know, Esau controls the world right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you go, because here in Jeremiah 51 verse 7 it says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. You know, so there's no escape from this thing. The only way to escape through this is through the front door. You know, go through Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, the straight gate.
The straight gate.
Enduring in this truth and waiting upon Yahweh Shai to come back.
Yep. And what was that gold cup? You know, what that philosophies that America was bringing around the whole world. You know,
Yep.
democracy, capitalism,
Feminism.
you know.
Yep.
Exactly. All these wicked ass philosophies, like the brother was saying,
Ideologies.
bringing and causing the whole world to be drunk. You know.
And
That
every,
transhumanism too.
everything contrary to the scriptures.
Exactly.
The book of life, pretty
Yep.
much.
Yep.
And how the elites, they're ruling pretty much the whole earth. Like the brothers say, there's nowhere to go. Well, it tell you that in Revelations 3 and 10, that the hour of temptation, that's when they administer the mark of the beast. That's going to be all around the world to try the whole earth.
Yep.
So there's literally nowhere to go. So when it says arise and depart, that's meaning spiritually,
Yeah.
because we're stacking our treasures in heaven. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, Lord's will, we can be found worthy to be delivered. You got it.
All right, continuing on, verse 7, it says, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Verse 8 says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
That go right into it.
Yep.
Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. In verse 9 it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
Yep, all those stimulus packets that they try to put out, they're trying to heal Babylon to try to stimulate the economy.
All those funky commercials they're putting about the coronavirus, they all play the same way, as we're all in this together.
The stand 6 feet apart, you know, the tracing,
Yep.
you know, all that is attempts to try to heal Babylon.
Yep.
You know?
All this inflating of the money, you know, it's all just gonna come around to bite America in the ass, so to speak. You know.
That Trump check.
Yep.
And these people are going to be, you know, following that dream that Esau's selling. You know, that fake ass dream that he's selling everybody, that if you do these things, everything's going to go back to normal. But it tell you in what 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, it says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall fall upon them.
Sudden. Yeah.
You know, because the Lord has it out for this place. The Lord hates America on the contrary of what everybody else believes. When you read the scriptures, it tells you that the Lord has it out for Babylon the Great, man, that's America. All right, the Lord wants to destroy this place for all the wickedness that goes on behind the scenes and all the wickedness that go on, you know, in the day.
Yep.
You know, all the shit that going online, all these women twerking, you know, showing their private parts, you know, sodomy, homosexuality, transgenderism.
Gross darkness to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no such thing as like these Edomites like to say, you know, God bless America. God hates America, and He's going to destroy it off the face of the earth.
America is a God-forsaken land.
This is
Yep.
the most prideful land.
Most prideful, most wicked, you know, most abominable,
Most hypocritical,
you know.
because they say they founded America upon the principles of the Bible, but then, you know, in the judicial system, they make you swear on the Bible, and then they put the Bible behind them, and then they pull out their penal code.
Yep.
Isaiah 10.
So they're, instead of following the laws of the Lord, they following the laws of their own, their
Exactly.
man-made laws.
We're supposed to obey the Most High rather than men.
Yep.
Yeah,
And what does Esau do? He obeys himself.
exactly.
And he doesn't even do that. You know,
Which-
he's a hypocrite.
Which is prideful too.
Yep.
So that's why the Lord got that destruction coming. You got
Yep.
So continue on. It says, forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies.
And that's the point where we're approaching right now, where all these people that are, have done business in America, all these other heathen nations, Moab, the so-called Chinese, all right, Elam, the so-called Indians. They had small businesses over here. They're leaving. They're going back to their country while they still can, because they see that America is hopeless.
Yep.
And they're gonna get it too, because them over here doing business with America means that they're benefiting off the slavery of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Exactly, and they're in bed with the whore, benefiting off the slavery of the Israelites, like you said. So they're going to be judged too. These other heathen nations, but the chiefly Esau, Edom is the wicked of the heathen. Yeah. Which they're all wicked, but Esau, he's the worst of them.
As the king is, so are the people.
Exactly. So Esau, he's gonna get it the worst too. But these heathens gonna get it too. But these heathens that are here in America that set up businesses, most of their businesses are going out of shutting down.
Yep.
So now it's time for everybody to forsake Babylon, because there is no healing this place.
Yep.
And as we see this year progress, things is gonna get worse and worse. You got it.
I'll just start Revelations 18 from the top, and I'll read down to verse 11. I'll read through it quick, just get the points. It says, Revelation 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Yep, and that's going to be the end game of America after those nuclear missiles hit via World War III.
Yep.
Because Yahweh Shema Shai is stirring up the land of Yahweh Shaphat in the Middle East. The Lord is stirring up World War III with the purpose of destroying America with those missiles.
Yep, and you can tell this is code talk for America, because ancient Babylon is still there. It's what is it, modern day Iraq? This never happened to it. It's still inhabited, And
it equates, because it doesn't say that Babylon is a physical spot, because it also says that this place is also spiritual Egypt and Sodom.
Yep. And then on top of that, Babylon didn't go out with the destruction,
Yep.
Like he said.
Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
Like the brother Parathan was just saying, how Babylon had been to go to cup. All these nations have benefited off of America, and America have benefited off the backs of the Israelites.
Yep. It says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And that's exactly what happens. All these America is a consumer state, a consumer country, so they like to purchase all these things and have them made in China, all these different countries, have them imported over here, and the people here just buy it up. But what's going to happen in a Great Depression? What's going to happen when these people, which the numbers are already astronomical of these unemployment, they're not going to buy anything no more,
And on top of that, the food trucks is going to stop coming in, and imports is going to stop coming in, because these businesses are not going to be able to buy these different imports.
Yep. Yeah, and so you can see that, everybody's going to be affected from this, all these nations. It says, verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Yep, and that's going to be an actual voice when the angels show up with Yahushua in these end times.
Yep.
Yeah, because when we're here in America, we're still going to, like sin in a sense, because we can't be perfect. But once that happens, we're going to literally come out of Babylon through those chairs. We're going to get beamed up so that we won't partake in those sins at all.
Yep. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double.
Yep.
It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. And that's exactly what America's living right now, is deliciously. And it's not even the whole America, it's the elites, and they're the ones benefiting the most. But the regular people, the lower class, so to speak, they're feeling they're gonna start really feeling the blunt or the brunt of this Great Depression. It says, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her.
Yep. So that destruction, because they said, I sit a queen and I am no widow, It's pretty much telling you the mindset of these Babylonians. They believe that America is never going to receive any type of major judgment like this.
Yep.
Catastrophic judgment where a lot of people are going to be put to death. People you know, people you went to school with. You know, all these people are here in America. The majority of them are going to die. You know, but it said, "I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow." So America's been proud this whole time, living deliciously.
Yep. Just like how they're saying, you know, America's gonna be good. The economy's gonna be good. You know, don't worry about it. You know, we'll get through this. You know,
That's pride.
yeah, exactly. That American pride. Yep.
Yeah. But then it says, "In one day shall her destruction come." Or could you
Well,
read that
within
again?
Yeah, it
Wow.
says, therefore shall her plague, verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day,
Yep.
death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, who judgeth her.
And that links up with First Thessalonians, that sudden destruction.
Yep. It says, verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. You know, so all that capitalism, everybody who was involved, all these different countries involved of benefiting, you know, monetarily wise off America, that's all going to come to a stop. And all these countries, like I said, is going to be affected.
Yep.
You know?
And they're actually going to witness the smoke too. Like the elder apostle Gabar says, you know, the end of the world will be televised. Because when America get hit with those nuclear missiles, they're going to have their, you know, these other nations are going to be watching from the satellite cameras. They're going to be having a view of America on fire with the smoke going up into the atmosphere.
They're going to witness Yahweh Shai, you know, through the internet, or whatever's left of it, TV, radios. You know, everyone's going to know that Yahweh Shai returned, and he's pretty much, Isaiah 63 is going to happen.
Yep.
Says verse 10, standing afar off from the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
Yep. It says in 1 hour, so like in 1 hour shall that judgment come. So it's only going to take 1 hour for all those 200 million nuclear missiles to be let off on Babylon the Great.
Yep.
It's going to take 1 hour for that place to be destroyed. This place to be destroyed.
These same merchants, which are these countries that were in league with America, that were benefiting off America, they're going to be the same ones to destroy her.
Yeah, and you can see from this article, America's big business. You see like $150 million fund, whatever have you. That's big business pretty much. So that's why these merchants are going to mourn, because they're not going to be able to benefit off the backs of the so-called black Latinos, Native Americans.
It's actually going to say that's the verse 11. You know, because when America goes down, all these countries, that's one of their main money sources. You know, it says Revelations 18:11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yep, and that's going to be the end of Babylon, you know. And then, you know, Yahweh Shai and the elect, they're going to come up out of them chariots when the smoke, you know, settles down, and then proceed to put all these nations outside of America into slavery. Subjection. They're going to be subject unto the next rulers of the earth.
We got next.
Yep. Because that's what the Lord is raising up the elect for, to be the next rulers. And when Yahweh Shai come back, Yahweh Shai, he's going to give the elect immortal bodies. You know, bodies that are able, you know, to, because it's going to take an angelic force to bring the earth back after that nuclear destruction, man. You know, the continents is going to be shifting. You know, and there's going to be
great earthquake.
Great earthquake.
To and fro.
There's going to be survivors too, because a lot of people, they say, oh, if the nuclear missile's going to hit, there's going to be no survivors.
Oh, those elites, like so-called the Rothschilds and whatever elites we still don't know about, we're gonna go hunt them in those bunkers that they're hiding in.
They're gonna be hiding in spaceships out in space. They're gonna be hiding in
sea labs in the water.
And also in the mountains too.
They're gonna be the first fruits of slavery. Those are the slaves that we would want anyways, because that's gonna have a high pedigree. Those are gonna be the Rothschild slaves.
They're gonna
the
go
Bill
right
Gates
into
slaves.
slavery. And that's gonna be them being paid double according to what they've done. You know, 1,000 years of slavery.
The wicked, you know, elites of Esau, Edom aren't gonna get away, pretty much.
Nah. They're going to escape the nuclear destruction, but they're not going to escape slavery underneath the children of Israel.
They're going to wish they got nuked.
Yeah, because Yahweh Shai is coming back, who the world ignorantly called Jesus. You know, Yahweh Shai is on his way return. That's why all these things is happening on the earth. These catastrophic events, major plagues. They're on the news. They keep saying biblical like proportions when it comes to the plagues.
Well, like this article, man, this is going to be one of the greatest depressions. Greater than the so-called Great Depression of what was it, the 1920s. It says it's going to be worse than that.
Well, even in the article title, it says the market will grind to a new low.
Yep.
That sounds like it's from the scriptures.
Yeah, the grinding shall cease.
Yeah, so all these is happening because the earth is pretty much ushering in the return of the Messiah, Yahweh Shai.
Esau's end and Jacob's beginning.
Yep.
So real quick, I'm going to read this precept in Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So we're coming to that end of Esau's rulership because he's got what they would call in the world a glass ceiling.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to go to the stars, and all that stuff.
He's not going to be able to make America great again.
Nope.
America's not coming back.
Make America great again. Really, that's code word for putting Israel into slavery again.
Yeah.
That was
that ain't gonna happen.
That was when they were benefiting off the free slave labor of the slaves. When they started to become great, so-called,
Hey, but the Lord got different plans for Esau because his numbers are with the Lord.
Yep.
The Lord knows how many milliseconds that Esau has in his earth.
Yep.
Because after this, Esau got 1,000 years of hardcore slavery before the nation of Esau is exterminated. So the Lord knows the numbers of Esau's day and is limited.
Yep. I got this last one. Can end off on this. Isaiah 13:19. It says, "And Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged."
Yep. So, hey man,
I was gonna say, Babylon is equated to Esau, Edom, and their destruction is all throughout the scriptures.
Yep.
So you can't get around it. You could read that in Jeremiah 49. I was about to bring it up, but that's exactly the same thing. That's what's stated there.
Yeah. So Esau's rulership, Esau's main, government, his country, so to speak, being
his
America,
stronghold, the beast system,
that whore, being America, it's coming down, and like the scripture says, her days shall not be prolonged, and her time is near to come. So, as we can see with this Great Depression coming, and all these plagues, the beginning of these plagues, all these different prophecies in the scriptures speaking louder than ever, we know that this place doesn't have too much longer to exist.
Because after Babylon's destruction, which is a prophecy that's going to happen, after that is the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep.
That's the prophecy that's going to happen right after that.
Exactly. And who is that? That's Esau, Edom, going into slavery and serving Jacob, Yasharallah.
Yeah, so any last words, any last precepts?
That was it.
All right. With that being said, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who also rule well. Peace and citation to those of the hopeful elect. Shalom and Abal Babal.
Shalom.
Shalom and
Abal
Abba
Babal.